Or did you just want to hear yourself talk? The latter, obviously. Moonflow.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's good. I just wanted to add on to my name is Maria. I'm 24. I'm a trader from the South Side of Chicago. Been doing this for 4 years. I just wanted to add on to the conversation of controlling your ego in the market. I was listening to a roundtable yesterday where one of the traders was talking about you're in a market with a big ego where ego will destroy you. And I'm a heavy believer in you can't destroy an ego because I'm a Leo. All of my siblings are Leos as well. But you do have to learn to tame it and let it move with you. And on my mirror every day, I have a morning routine where I say everything. What is it? I start the day off by looking in my mirror and I say I must focus on healing, let everything else flow. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And it's better to prepare yourself to pour from a cup that is better, more full than to pour from empty. So if you see yourself getting to the market and you're already shaky and nervous and you haven't done your morning routine, you should take a step back. And when it comes to the ego, I personally am someone who's had experience with like my spirituality, jumping from childhood of being religious to being kicked out for not abiding by religious to being into psychedelics. And I've had to learn that your ego is not something you could destroy. You have to learn to face it so that when you are moving in areas where you need an extra strength, your very own ego needs to be your strength, but you can't be your strength if it's constantly something that's destroying you. So instead of saying destroying egos, I always a big person that preaches that you need to look at your ego, become aware of your ego, self awareness, discipline. All these things were shown to me that I lacked when I started day trading. I was 220 pounds. I was homeless before. I was in Chicago, like just some things at an early age and by myself. And now here I am 4 years later with a sense of discipline, foundation, just all things that stem from like the market showing me you have no control. You have a poverty mindset. You are greedy, like all these things. And I had to like find the truth in that and be comfortable with it and be realizing it as opposed to being like like combative of it and just big headed, and you will always be in the way of your own self and the charts in life, whatever it is. If you don't accept that is the reality of life, and you must work with life because the universe works with those who work with the universe. I got a little tongue twisted because the first time I've spoken, but so I was thinking about it. But thanks for the time to speak on that.
I love that. And I couldn't agree with you more. I just want to build on what you're saying. Instead of destroying your ego, you want to really overcome it, right? And you're going to overcome your ego through your own form of self realization. That self realization is going to come through introspection, it's going to come through meditation, it's going to come through some form of spiritual practice that connects you, your inner self, to your divine. And not only that, connecting yourself to the others around you, right? Nature is extremely important. Your family is important. The circles of the beings, humans, the people you're around, that's important, right? And when you say, and I love this, overcoming or this idea of overcoming your ego, you really have to understand that your ego is a barrier towards your own individual spiritual growth. Things like fear, anxiety, depression, separation, materialism are going to be barriers towards your own growth. And if you can apply those feelings, those concepts to what you're doing on the chart, and you can tap into something like what we do here, a collective consciousness, abundance, unity, love, right? Letting go of, overcoming that fear, anxiety, and separation, right? Moonflow, anyway, I just wanted to build on that because I believe what you're saying is very, very true, right? Let me ask you, what are some practical applications? You've mentioned affirmations. You read to us an affirmation you utilize to reinforce your own understanding of yourself. What are a few other things, or what is something else potentially that you see or that you would say to the audience would be a practical application towards overcoming your ego?
A practical application. Me personally, I would say self awareness, like journaling, if you will. And it may seem like, but okay, let me start over. Journaling
No, that's
because
good. That's good. I love it.
it reminds you. It allows you to look at your day, and if you're really being honest, the whole basis of anything I say is always with a grain of salt. Of you have to be completely honest. If you're lying, then only you is going to be affected by it. But if you sit down and journal, you're honestly journaling things that have happened with your day, and whether it be like your personal journal or your trading journal, all these types of journals. You look down and write down what's wrong, why did you enter the trade, why did you exit the trade, what you feel during the trade, what was your confluences. Like, you do that with trading, and if you also do it with your daily journal, your life journal, what happened today, what problems you had, and also take accountability of your part in said either trade or actions. That can allow you to begin to see, oh, I really am in my own way. Because no one, when it comes to like your ego or your pride or whatever, sometimes people is just too big. And often in trading, I found that we all have the big egos and all these things, but it's nothing if you can't control it and it's not moving with you. And if you're walking around and not being aware of how your ego is affecting your day to day, it will be always be in your way. So a practical way to answer your question, that's one practical way, along with like meditation. I spend a lot of time in nature. People always look at my trading desk, it's in my cover photo, they're like, oh my god, you're like deep in the matrix. And I am, but I am very spiritual first, and I prefer to spend my mornings waking up talking to my ancestors. I lost my dad recently, and like it brought me back home, and I have a new sense of family. And I was about to be a billionaire that was by themselves, and the universe did its work to like I had to be taken away from everything. I had to like get sick to come back home, and like I have a new sense of family so I can build on it, and I have a new reason why, because they're counting on me used to be like something I would say because I believe I'm a philanthropist in my time, that I'm going to reach people, humanitarian I am. But like now I have a family that's close too, because I wasn't close to family for 7 years. I'm only 24, and now that helps me with my training because it helps me be more disciplined. When I wake up, I can't just be hopping on these charts and being like, oh, it just feels right. No, I'm a technical, reactive, price action, ICT. I have many lenses that I look through. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't make sense and my heart is beating too fast, I will not touch that mouse, because unnecessary losses hurt way more than losses that are following your trading plan.
I love that, Moonflow. I love that. You're adding a lot of valuable insight to the conversation today, and that's what we look for with speakers coming on, right? And you're right. I saw in your comments, I am that motherfucker that will clap people off of this speaker tag, because I'm the one in control of that, Moonflow. I want you to know I'm not here to waste anyone else's time, and if they're not going to add value to the level, if they're not going to elevate their conversation to the level of where we're at, I am going to clap back and be that motherfucker. Yeah, that's me, Moonflow. Welcome to Trader Roundup. Your hands up. Feel free.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to comment on one last thing. I feel like it's important. My Twitter name is Moonflower, and I'm not at all mad about you saying it wrong. It's just I brought it up because I feel like other people could receive from this. A moonflower is a flower that only blooms in the nighttime, and it's often a representation of beautiful things come from darkness. And being from the south side of Chicago, I've been homeless and some other things that it really struck a chord with me when I read the definition of this flower. And you have to keep in mind, when you're in trading, when you're in a losing streak, if you're in drawdown, if whatever, you need to look at the darkness and acknowledge that it is darkness, but it's only in reflection to the light. So you need to look into the darkness and be comfortable with it, so you can appreciate it and appreciate the light when you come out of it as well. So that's why I chose that name. My name used to be myself, because I'm really focused on being myself, and I still am. But Moonflower is because I believe that this year, the last year I've had, this is my time to bloom out of the darkness. I'm now trading with way more capital than I've ever, and like it came after a period of time where I felt like I was about to, like, it might have been the end, but it is not.
I respect that. Thank you for the correction. I said Moonflow. I wasn't going to call you Chef Daddy. Just know that. I'll call you Moonflower.
That's
I'm not calling you
okay.
no Chef Daddy. Daddy in this
I'm also
motherfucker's
a
me.
chef.
So just remember that. The daddy
I
in this
appreciate
room's me.
that.
I ain't calling no one
You
daddy.
know what?
So
I won't
I
argue
will
with
call you
that.
Moonflower, though, especially
Appreciate
since
it.
that's your name. And I love the definition. I love everything you had to say about that. So thank you for correcting me. My screen shows Moonflow, dot, dot, dot. So I had to go in and see your profile to see who you are. And I also had to acknowledge to you, I'm not calling you daddy. So there's that. Um,
I respect that decision.
yeah. So We're here Sunday. We're going to